Good afternoon all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, October 13th, and we are looking at Window Traders market profile of SPY IWMN triple Qs. Pretty quiet day overall. Sellers attempted. We made a new low on the day. ES filled their single prints from the 6th. Incredibly, SPY leaves 2 pennies on that second set. You talk about mechanical, just like they missed that by 2 cents. Look at today's high when the market popped, missed yesterday's high by 5 cents. Triple Qs go out 9 wide. G's an afternoon pullback. The day's high and the low. Russell, I have to see where Russell closed. Russell was incredibly erratic today. Remember, they had an inside day yesterday. They came out of an inside day to the upside, looked above and failed. Went to the opposite end of the destination, had an inside day down and failed. So they had a chance for an outside day down, outside day up. They might have finished with an outside day up. I'll have to look where they closed. But they end 11 wide, K afternoon pullback, the day's high and low, and a possible outside day up. As for us, G is our afternoon pullback, the day's high, the day's low. We're only 7 wide, and we went out with some excess. M took some of it away, but there is some excess. Now, sellers in the bigger picture are, without a doubt, still in control until we stop at least one time framing down the daily, and more importantly, in the weekly. However, we have 2 daily highs very close to each other. So if the buyers are able to take out today and yesterday's highs, we can get some movement because the upside is light. On the flip side, though, there's not much to the downside either. We have the afternoon pullback below in G, today's low, and then really not much down to another daily low and a weekly low. So I can expect this range to continue, which is great. Now, here's another thing I told the room. We have 3 days in a row. We had overlapping a lower value Monday, lower Tuesday, overlapping a lower today. I'm in 5s, so don't ignore this. We had overlapping a lower value. But however, the volume for all 3 of these days are either at average or below. So even though the market's attempting to go lower, right? We're lower in the weekly, the daily, and the monthly's balanced to lower. Even though they're attempting to keep pushing, they're not getting much and volume is drying up. So again, a lot of things on the table here for both sides. Had a very good day today, and I did all my trading in the morning except one nice trade I took in H we'll go over. So in A period, when we pulled back, I took a long against the first set of single prints. I'm sorry, not against the single prints. I'm losing my mind. I took a long against, a little bit against A's low and then against the day's low. Took a decent size and it popped enough to help me out. So I was in the 433 and the 432 calls. So I took a 100 lot that helped me out and I did well on it. Then in B period, when I jumped on before we took out A's low. I scalped a couple of shorts, and then when we took out A's low, jumped on another 30 lots. So I had 40 puts when we rode down and took them all off as most of the single prints filled. So I scalped shorts 3 times, with the biggest one being a 40 lot when we took out A's low. That was a really good trade. C period, scalped shorts 3 times because we were one time framing down. Did well on those. So I had an excellent A, B, and C. And then the market dried up. D did nothing. E popped, took out some shorts. The only trade I did after that was an H. I was like, I knew the minutes were coming out at 2 o'clock. We were building some energy here. We hadn't taken out the IB. So I decided the 437 calls were trading at 7 cents. Bought 50 of them. Well, they immediately doubled. So I sold between 14 cents and then when we popped up in J at 30 cents. So it was a really good trade on a 50 lot that I was only risking $350 on. So it was a really good trade. And that, my friends, was the last trade of the day. Nothing interested me as KL and M did nothing but go back and forth through the opening. As far as destinations, now look how wide they get. For the upside, we have 436.05, today's high, 436.10, yesterday's high. So that's firecracker effect waiting to go off. Well, if you get those, you don't have anything to the afternoon rally high from the 11th at 437.32. and then nothing to that day's high of 440.26. So there's a $4 vacuum, basically. And then above that, we have 441.68, which is the weekly high, really important, and fill in the 22-cent gap at 441.90 from September 28th. For the downside, we don't have anything to the afternoon pullback low, right? So they have us closing at 435.21. The afternoon pullback low is 433.32. So $2 away from our first downside destination. Then today's low, 431.54. Two single prints left from the 6, 431.53 to 52. And then look how dicey it gets to the downside. 429.35 afternoon pullback low from the 6th, 427.54 daily low, and 426.36 weekly low. So we are $9 away from the weekly low. We're $6.5 away from the weekly high. And there's not much standing away from either one of them. So let's see what happens over the next 2 days, right? We had the Fed minutes today, didn't really provide much. We have expiration on Friday, and we have more earnings. So let's see if we're able to get one of those weekly lows or weekly highs. And then on the chart, so the monthly hasn't changed, balanced to down for me because we haven't taken out July's low. If we take out July's low, get below it, we will be down. Weekly, still firmly down. Yes, it's an inside week, but even if we have an inside week, it's still down because we didn't stop the one-time framing. But it would be maybe down to balance, and that would be pretty interesting if we have an inside week starting next week. But we still have 2 days to go. Still down. And then the daily is clearly down, right? Basically for 5 days. So this is why I could see a possible firecracker effect at some point. Because if you take out these two daily highs, get above the 20-day moving average, well, there's not much again to that 440 level. We have spent now, I counted it and I forgot the number, 15 days below the 50-day moving average. And we've traded at it or below 18 in a row. So that'll be interesting if we ever get there. And that's not much above the weekly high. So I have a feeling what's transpiring here is setting us up for a pretty good move one way or the other. If buyers start taking something back from these sellers, we can get a really strong pop and get to that 50. However, if they can't take out a weekly high and they take out this week's low or last week's low, well, then that July low is still on the table. But I do expect a pretty good directional move sooner rather than later. Hope you had a good day trading. Enjoy the evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.